G'day jabronis, it is the Verd, back with you again, and yeah, we are doing some Duel Links. I really want to do this for a while now, but I've been having issues with the updates and whatnot, but I do have it here, as you can see. Oh my god, hopefully I can actually show up on the camera, if that focuses. There we go. Nice. You can see that there, but you also see it on your screen. Basically, I found this out through Johnny GB, absolute legend. He said that you could record the stuff through your iPhone now, which means I don't have to use the emulator or anything, which is awesome, because I really want to show off some stuff, not the Weevil stuff here. Basically, I'm just trying to get him to level 30 to get a bunch of gems to open Servant of Kings. I mean, the funny thing about Servant of Kings already is that I opened the box the first time, went through about, I would say, 15 packs, and picked up both Wall of Disruption and Chalice like I needed, and then I opened up, as you can see, another 10 packs, and I already have Chalice again. So realistically, I want a full set of Chalice and Disruption. Every other card in the set is to me. I mean, maybe I want more Painful Decision. Until they bring out more real decent support for like the normal archetype, I don't see it being that great. The only thing that's good about it is maybe you let up your grave for Magnets, or you let up your grave for Lotus. They're like the two things, I suppose. Obviously, it's decent for Ojamas too, but at the same time, you're dropping like an Ojama Green to get an Ojama Green, and then what, you're going to discard that Ojama Green to bring out the other Ojama Green? Like, I'm sure there are some combos, but for me, I don't think it's that great. I'm not going to do a review of this box right now. What I want to do, though, is talk about... Is it going to show on here? Yes. As you can see there, I am currently in King of Games. Just to confirm that, let me jump into here. Took me a little bit. There we go, King of Games. So, you're probably wondering, how did a stupid little Aussie dingo get King of Games? Well, what I'm going to do today, guys, I'm actually going to show you the deck that I used to get to King of Games and kind of break it down a bit. So, this is the deck that I used. I may put out like pictures on the side of the cards I used, but I realistically don't think I need to. I'll be explaining everything as it goes. So I'm going to go through every card that I used, how it was useful to, and then kind of break down the deck. Obviously, I know that there's a lot of ultra rare cards in here, but I'll try and explain some alternatives you can use with this deck that work just as good, I would say. So kicking things off, first and foremost, we have Gozuki. Probably one of the big MVPs of this deck, especially the way that it functions. So the basic premise of the Red Eye Zombie deck is that you want to get these two bad boys out. I should probably explain the Red Eye Zombie Dragon first. So, this is your boss monster. This is the main guy you want to get out on your side of the field. You can tribute one zombie to get him out if you need to. So if you're stuck in your hand, you can always just tribute summon if need be. That rarely ever happens though, because you never really, even if it's in your hand, you'll see there's other ways to get it out from your hand, and it's just good. If it destroys a zombie type monster by battle, you can special summon that zombie back to you. So in the mirror match, that's really big, because if you can run over their zombie dragon, you can take their zombie dragon, then run over another one of their zombies and take that too. So you could be facing a board of 3 monsters versus your board of just 1, and you could just completely shift the tide right there. How do you have your 2,400 dragon overrun theirs? With the ability Beat Down. So Beat Down, basically the attack of all of your monsters on the field are increased by 300 for each level 5 or higher monster. So basically if you control 1 Red Eyes, everyone gets a 300 attack point boost. Now you can obviously run this with the Tie That Binds, is also quite good, but I have been preferring Beat Down for the fact that it allows Red Eyes to at least match up evenly against Takini, straight up. So I Ranger Takini is a bit of a pain, so being able to be stronger than that, also being able to boost up just with 1 Red Eyes to run over things like Dark Magician, Toon Barrel Dragon, whereas with Tie That Binds you can't do that. I think it's pretty nice. I do apologise if I sniffle and stuff as I record this, but so you're thinking, okay, 2 Red Eyes, why wouldn't you run 3? So the reason I didn't run 3 was because I was finding that there was never really an opportunity for me to get out 3 Red Eye Zombie Dragons. Most of the time it was just 2, and 2 was honestly enough. You are rarely ever banishing one of these guys to use like Gozuki's effect or anything like that. So you're always having 2 in your grave, and realistically you only have 4 ways to bring back the 2 monsters. So it's just, I found 3 to be a bit too cloggy. It also increases your chance of opening with a zombie dragon in your hand, which is just not ideal. So that's basically out of the way. Let's talk about Gozuki now. So Gozuki has 2 effects, and both of them are incredibly important to this deck. The first and foremost effect is that during your main phase, you can send 1 zombie-type monster from your deck to your grave. So, because, like I said, you don't really want to draw into your zombie dragon, you can use Gozuki's effect to dump that zombie dragon to your graveyard. But the other thing you might want to drop with Gozuki's effect is Bacon Saver. So this has been like a really important card, and it's going to be an even more important card heading into the next meta, because during the battle step, which is really important because there is a new trap that's coming out, Wall of Disruption, that activates during the attack declaration. So if your opponent activates that, then when it hits the battle step, you can activate Bacon Saver's effect, which is basically you can banish this card from your graveyard and you can negate 1 attack. Now that doesn't mean you can just negate your opponent's attack. That's what I'm saying. If he activates Wall of Disruption, then you can use your Bacon Saver effect and preserve your monster, and then maybe go with like an Econ Tribute play, and bada bing, like done. It's stupid. Bacon Saver is quite good there, so that's one of the main cards you want to dump. You either want to dump that or Zombie, or on the alternative chance, you want to dump this Samurai Skull. Now, Samurai Skull is only in here because this allows for more milling, because it does the same thing that Gozuki does, only it's once. You can normal summon it, dump a zombie to the grave. Now, if this is destroyed, if this card leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, which rarely ever happens, you can get out a free Gozuki from your deck, which is quite nice, I suppose, but that never really happened. Like, I think it happened once for me, because it's opponent's card effect. It only really happens if, say, you have Samurai Skull out, and they bring out Takini and use Takini's effect. You can just send that to the grave, bring out a Gozuki, and then you're, like, laughing. So, that's all good. But basically, the reason I want to send Samurai Skull sometimes is Gozuki's second effect. So, the second effect of Gozuki is, if this card is sent to the graveyard, and that means at any time it is sent to the graveyard, you can banish 1 zombie-type monster from your grave, except Gozuki, and special summon it to special summon a zombie type from your hand. So that's the situation when you open with a zombie dragon. If you have Gozuki on the field and you can dump a Samurai Skull, then you can use Gozuki's effect if it gets sent to the graveyard to banish the Samurai Skull from your grave. You get a free Red Eyes. Another really nasty combo is having that set up, and then on your next turn, instead of forcing your opponent to destroy Gozuki, there's 2 really, really nice options with this deck that work quite nicely. The first one is activating Gozuki's effect again and dropping a Gozuki from your deck to the grave, and because it was sent to the graveyard, you can use the effect to bring out Zombie. The other one, which has a slightly more devastating effect, is combining it with Enemy Controller. So this is probably the most important card. I want to say, if you want to run Red Eye Zombie Dragon at its highest power, you're going to need this Enemy Controller. You can still run this, like, you could drop the Gozukis for Samurai Skulls in a budget version. The Wyvern could just be changed to, I don't really know what you change the Wyvern to. I mean, actually no, Wyvern and the Red Eye Spirit, when it gets dropped with the ban list, you can literally replace those 2 cards maybe with potentially Birthright, and then chuck in a few regular Red Eyes cards as well as the Zombie Dragons, so you have more targets, I suppose. That's possible because you have a bunch of insight. So if you wanted to do that, then sure. I mean, if you really were feeling it. But basically, the reason why Econ is so huge is the dual kind of effects and how they work with a Red Eye Zombie deck. So first and foremost, you know the main effect, which is just target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change the player position. So basically, it's saying, okay, you attack with a monster, change the defense. This is really good in some situations. This means that if you're in the mirror match and your opponent attacks with their Red Eyes that's juiced up, you can change it to defense mode and then run over it next turn and steal it. It also means that an opponent's Blue Eyes White Dragon can't take you out, or you force the champion's Vigilance, which is honestly fine. The more Vigilances you can waste, the better. Plus, in the next format anyway, Vigilance will be at 1. And I will explain that in another video, but that's really good. But the second effect is probably the biggest one for Zombie Dragons, why they have become such a ridiculously overpowered deck, in my opinion. Tribute 1 monster, then target 1 face-up monster opponent. Take control of the target to the end phase. Now you might be thinking, well, that's okay then, though. That's not the worst effect. Let me break down how this is stupid. So, say you have Gozuki on the field, Samurai Skull in the graveyard. and your opponent has out just a Senju. Say they've used Senju, they're setting up for Ritual Summon next turn, they have no protection, just a Senju, but they feel by that turn, if you're just chilling there with a Gozuki, with Samurai Skull on the grave, you're fine. Well, actually no, say you've opened with Gozuki, sent a Bacon Saber to the grave. On your next turn, draw into a Red Eyes, you also have an Econ in hand, you activate Gozuki's effect, send Samurai Skull, activate Econ, tribute your Gozuki, take the Senju, activate Gozuki's effect, banish Samurai Skull, free Red Eyes, use Beat Down, Red Eyes hits 27, Senju is 14, you attack for game. It is the dumbest little combo, and the thing is, that combo also just works with any zombie monster in your hand. Even, like, I think in some situations, I mean, the only one is Bacon Saber, but any of those zombie monsters, like if it's another Gozuki, or a Samurai Skull in your hand, doesn't matter. If you tribute the Gozuki and take the Dakini, and then summon out any other zombie monster, that's game. That's basically game right there. So, I mean, actually, no, I think it is game with Bacon. Yeah, it is, because Dakini hits 2700. So, when you summon out Dakini, and then when you take Dakini and summon out Bacon Saber with Beatdown, Dakini hits 3000, Bacon Saber hits 1000. So, basically, you can insta-win right there. That's an OTK. That's probably the most annoying play that Zombie Dragons can do to beat Cyber Angels. If your opponent has no support, this is why all the Cyber Angel players are now running, like, potentially they're running your Sphere Karibos or your Econs are the main two cards that they're running. And it's mainly because of this play. It's literally a OTK at its finest. It's probably the best OTK this deck can do, because it not only takes a monster and gives you momentum, but then you could just summon out another monster, and if they don't have protection, they're done. It's just over. So that's that. Only other monster I guess to discuss is Wyvern. It's basically in here because it's another target for a Red Eyes Insight, and if it's in the grave and I haven't really done anything that turn, I can banish it, bring out a Zombie Dragon, which is kind of nice. Plus 2100 under Beatdown is pretty good. I like that. But this is, again, one of the big cards. Now, this has been a card of much discussion for me lately, but I won't get into that until I talk about how I'm going to revamp this deck, I suppose, for the future. But this Red Eyes Insight, basically, you send one Red Eyes from your hand or deck to the graveyard, add one Red Eyes Spell Trap from your deck to your hand, except Red Eyes Insight. So basically, the two targets for this card mostly are Cards of the Red Stone, which we don't even use in this deck because we don't run vanillas, or your Red Eyes Spirit, which we are running. Pretty straightforward effect. You're bringing back your Zombie Dragons. You can bring back Wyvern with this, but it's not recommended. So, mainly, the premise of this card is if you don't open with Zombie Dragon or Spirit, you basically have an insta-Zombie Dragon when you play this card. Like, your opponent realizes, okay, at some point a Red Eye Zombie Dragon is going to come out because of this card. So, that's pretty nice. I kept it at 3 with 3 Spirit. However, when Spirit gets dropped to 2, I'm contemplating running it at 2. It's a bit of a tricky one. It comes down to how often you can get a brick. So it's obviously going to be something I'm going to test for next season. But those two cards are great. Now we're going to go into these 3 little fillers here. Well, Mirror Wall, pretty straightforward card. It works in damage step, which is, I think, makes it better than Wall of Disruption. Like, Wall of Disruption is good if you need to stop like a flooding attack or some bullshit like that. I'm just going to turn this off quickly, sorry. Go. Works really well if you're trying to counter like a flooding attack. But Mirror Wall, I think the biggest thing about Mirror Wall is its activation and the damage step. Basically, if you activate Wall of Disruption, then your opponent can just they can just econ take your monster, and then your monster, because of Wall of Disruption, is going to have that negative attack throughout the game as well. So it's not like great for you. Whereas with Mirror Wall, because activating the damage step, there is not a lot of cards your opponent can activate that really stops Mirror Wall from activating. Obviously, like, it's apples and oranges to where Disruption would be better, but at the same time, it's like I don't think it's a card worth running. In my opinion, Mirror Wall's better. You rarely ever pay the 2,000 life points. It's only if you don't really have a Red Eyes out, you need to preserve board presence, but that never really happens. Being able to halve attack is great, like Blue Eyes halved, doesn't get over Gozuki. Being able to halve like a Dakini that's had a boost from Egerton goes down to 1850, which means that obviously Red Eyes can run over it, but the big one is when it's double Egerton and it goes to 2350, which means that it can't go over a Red Eyes. So that's really important there. And the last card, and this is a card that I think you don't need to run in this deck, but you should run in this deck, if that makes sense. And that is anti-magic arrows. This card saved me more times than I can remember. It was ridiculous. At the start of the battle phase. The reason why this is so important is because if you have game on board and you know your opponent has no Sphere Karibos, if you can just get to the start of the battle phase, it's game. It's done. You've won. It's over. Because at the start of the battle phase, I thought my computer went off for a sec. At the start of the battle phase, you activate this card, and for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, spell and trap cards cannot be activated. Trap and effects cannot be none of them, and they can't be activated in response to this card. I'm going to move this actually just a little bit closer to here, so I'm like looking more directly at you guys. But this is a ridiculous card because say your opponent has a Mirror Wall, an Econ, and a Windstorm face down. If I'm able to get into my battle phase with, like, say, a Zombie Dragon plus a Gozuki, and I play this card, it's over. You can't activate any of those cards in response to my card activation, and you can't activate those cards for the entirety of the battle phase. So unless you have a Sphere Karibo or like a Bacon Saver, that is it. It's also really good against Red Eye's Mirror Match because a lot of people try to be really careful with when they play the zombie, when they play the Red Eye Spirits. They want to activate that card at like the end of the or in the middle of the battle phase or in the end phase. If you activate this and they haven't activated their spirit, then they can't bring back their Red Eyes, and they're going to basically lose. So a lot of people have been like trying to toggle on and making sure just before the battle phase starts, just in case of the potential anti-magic arrows, they have a Red Eyes there. But the thing is, like, if they're running zombie dragons, it's also tricky because you want to activate your spirit, but you're also worried because you know their zombie dragon's going to be stronger than yours. So unless you have Mirror Wall plus Spirit set, you're in a bit of a pickle. And even if Mirror Wall is set, then I would, if I had, say, like Econ in my hand, then I could just, Econ take, do all these other shenanigans. Yeah, it is what it is. But that is basically the deck, guys. What I thought I might do, because I haven't actually done any duels in King of Games yet, I thought I'd take it for maybe a couple of duels for you guys. Just a couple. Well, I didn't mean to click out of that. Yeah, a couple of duels in KOG, just to show you kind of the basic plays with the deck. I was using this deck recently, last time I was doing ranked, and I went about 17-3, I think, in the session I did, and I only lost to some really silly decks. So we're going to get into a duel. We're up against Nano 1991. Okay, we're up against Weevil. Weevil is an interesting matchup. It's really good if you have like a lot of monsters that can flood early, but he could set up quite defensively early game, and that could be annoying. Okay, so we have I'd say this is a pretty mediocre hand for Zombie Dragons. Opening Bacon Saver is horrible, opening Wyvern is horrible. So that's not the bad side. Gozuki makes things a little bit better, because I can send a Zombie Dragon to the grave if I want to. Main card I want to send, though, is Bacon Saver, and I can't even send Bacon. That's annoying. That's really annoying. That would have been something really nice to actually send. But nope, that's not going to happen. So we are off to a horrible start. This is okay. This happens with a deck, but this deck also proves that even when it bricks, it can be amazing. So we draw into Spirit, which is phenomenal. So we can summon out Gozuki. Easily the straight up play. If he goes for Floodgate on Gozuki, I don't mind. He goes for Massive Morph. Okay. A little bit worried about this. This is where I wish I had Bacon Saver, because I send Bacon Saver to the grave right now, but I don't. So I'm going to send my Zombie Dragon. This is what sucks about opening with Bacon Saver, because I could have seen if he was going to go for the Amazonis, and I could have played around that. But now, if that face down there is another Massive Morph and he has Amazonis in hand, we basically lose. Because we weren't able to get our Bacon Saver in the grave. He sets another card. So Gozuki can't attack. This is where also drawing into a Red Eyes would be kind of nice, but even then. Inaba's fine. If he goes into battle phase, I'm going to set Toggle to off, because I don't want to reveal that I have a Mirror Wall. And I don't want to reveal that I have a Spirit. I want him to assume they're just kind of dead cards, or cards not worth wasting on Inaba. So Inaba goes back, send it back to auto. We draw Samurai Skull, another really bad draw for this deck. Okay. What I want to do here, I think... this is bad, because I don't want to activate Gozuki's effect. There's no point to do that. I don't want to activate Mirror Wall just yet. I got to choose whether I want to bring out Bacon Saver or Wyvern. Either way, my field's getting clogged. I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm going to go with Bacon in defense. Switch Gozuki to defense, and then we'll go in with Red Eyes, because if he has if he has another massive morph, we're fucked anyway. So we're just going to go in with Red Eyes. We might as well beat down. He's not right back at you, Marek, so I don't really fear too much. We're going to set the toggle to off again, so it doesn't trigger my mirror wall going through. Yes, I know, Cat. Okay, Javelin's fine. It means he might have apples face down, but we do have mirror wall. So does he have the apples? Yes, he does. That's completely fine because we do have mirror wall on deck. He's going to bring that out in defense mode. Interesting play. I'm not going to activate that. Realistically, the best card to draw for us now is a Zombie Dragon if we can get it. That's very unlikely though in this deck. I don't know if he's going to keep that. Okay, he plays Master of Curse probably on the Red Eyes. This is the frustrating part. If I don't have way, this is where Econ comes in really clutch, by the way, guys, as well. He's probably just going to keep that Golden Apples token thingy in defense because he literally has no reason not to. If he switches it to attack now, I'm going to change my toggle back to auto. But yeah, I assumed he would just go straight for the attack. So what I have to do here, I think, guys, is I'm going to need to draw Econ. That would be probably the best card I could draw right now. So let's hope we draw Insight. That is like the worst card we could have drawn right now, because that's going to send a Red Eyes to my grave. I can send the Wyvern from my hand to the grave. Not that that really matters. We're in a lot of trouble here. Trying to think of our way out of this, but there's not a whole lot. I believe I misplayed last time by not attacking. No, I could destroy his thingy with Gozuki. So I'm going to send a Wyvern from my hand to the grave. I'm going to have to go with like some some beatdown spam here, guys. I'm going to change my Zombie Dragon to defense mode. I'm going to have to go in with Gozuki. Now this is a risk because if he draws into Swordswoman, I'm kind of fucked, but at the same time, I need to try and, you know, get through him here. So we're going to get Gozuki out here. We're going to flip up Old Mate Bacon Saver. Now this is a risk too, because if he has a way to negate my Gozuki's attack, then he can just attack into Bacon Saver. So I'm taking a bit of a risk here, but beatdown time, bitches. And we're going to try, because Massive Morph won't let me attack directly, but it can allow me to attack into this Malice token. So I'm hoping he doesn't have anything to stop the attack into Malice token. I believe his face down is another Massive Morph. So we are able to run over the Malice token. We know it's a Inarble White Rabbit in hand. Are you actually going to waste a Massive Morph on the Bacon Saver? I didn't think so. He knows he doesn't need to because he has enough support to the point where he can run it over. This is why drawing into Econ is really important, because with Econ, I'm able to tribute my Red Eye so I don't take more damage, and if he plays something, I can potentially stop it. But this is bad right now because we just have no way to break through. Yeah, this is really bad. My only way would be maybe... Okay, he has Econ. He's going to Econ take. Oh, okay. I don't think it's game just yet. Don't know about that play. Going to set it to auto because, yeah, he'll attack, but because I have Mirror Wall, I can save my Bacon here. That was a very interesting play on my opponent's part. I am definitely going to Mirror Wall this. Yeah, no. Oh, I forgot to activate it at the right time, but it's okay. I didn't think he'd have anything. So now we have Bacon Saver in the grave to stop another attack. I'm not going to activate that just yet. That'll come back. I'm really surprised he did that, because I'm not going to pay for Mirror Wall, obviously. So Gozuki's kind of useless still, but we have Econ to tribute something if we need to. And I can kind of just go in with Samurai Skull. Yep. We go in with Samurai Skull. I can activate Skull's effect to drop Zombie Dragon. We're going to set Gozuki back to defense mode. And we are going to try and beat down spam on this man, because he doesn't have anything to bring out. All he has is Master the Accursed. I'm not going to activate Bacon Saver. So we can just start bopping him for 2,000. So, judging on the way things are going, unless he draws a card that can stop Samurai Skull from attacking, we're okay. Because of the way the turns are rotating. He has a Master the Accursed again. Wow, this guy just top-decked absolute luck. My only chance is now draw... I can't even draw my Zombie Dragon. I don't even know what I could draw to save me here. Definitely not Gozuki. We lose, guys. There is no monster we can bring out that saves us. Our board just got clogged, and like I said, if you open with Bacon Saver plus the Wyvern, you know you're in for a bad time. There is no monster in my field that can attack right now. Gozuki can't attack directly because of Massive Morph. It's just frustrating because if he didn't top deck the Master of the Curse, we were fine. Because if he attacked with like Inaba, we could have activated a enemy controller, and we could have attributed the Red Eyes to take control of it, and then it would come back to him. Be okay, because on the next turn we could activate Spirit, and then we'd have 2 monsters. So it's just really frustrating that he was able to draw basically the one card that would get him out of that situation, I would say. Which is just annoying, because, you know, that happens. Like, players can get pretty lucky with their top decks. Maybe that situation is a case for saying, oh, you know, if you had another Red Eyes in your deck, you could have drawn into it and saved you, but I don't think so. Like, the chances of drawing into it there were very unlikely. So, I mean, obviously that's not a great duel to start this off. I'm going to do one more, I think, just to keep this cool. I probably will do another, like, 15 duels. Won't show them on the screen, but another 15 duels just to get that extra ticket. I have no idea what I'm going to spend it on, though, if I'm being honest with you guys. I have absolutely no idea. Something good, hopefully. So we're going to do one more duel to finish this little episode off. I hope you guys like enjoyed my little analysis of the deck and kind of explaining why certain cards are good, why they work in the deck, you know, what I think of the deck. Obviously, this deck took me to King of Games. It took me from Legend straight to King of Games. I used it pretty much the whole way through Platinum as well. Did I just... What? I didn't even get into my duel, huh? You guys literally saw that on camera. I didn't even get into my duel, and it gave me a loss. Bless Junior, why are you hacking the game? What is the point of hacking when you're in KOG? I don't understand. I literally didn't even get to the battle screen, and apparently I'd lost it. That's... Oh my god, what? What? Ugh. Okay. I also really wanted to get to KOG because of KC Cup. I will probably go over a couple of the decks that I'm planning to run for KC Cup in the upcoming videos. We will see, though. So, we're up against Keith. Oh, you know what? This is okay. I don't like opening Wyvern, though. If that, instead of Wyvern, was a Gozuki, then I'd be pretty happy with this hand. But we're against a Restart Bandit Keith. Judging on the fact that it's Restart, I want to assume Cyber Angels. But then again, I believe Bandit Keith also gets Balance. So the question is he running Balance Angels, or what? I'm going to just summon out Wyvern and attack. And activate one of my spirits here, so insights here to drop one of my zombie dragons. And then I've got the I could bluff with another insight face down, but there's no real need to. I'm just going to set Mirror Wall and in Spirit. So the only thing that could really blow me away here is maybe like a massive Dakini play, but even then I can kind of play around it, so we will see. Again, not opening with the best hands. But this happens. Like, the good thing about this deck, and the one reason why it and Cyber Angel are probably the top 2 decks in the format, is that the engines of both of these decks is pretty ridiculous. Like, the shit that they can do is pretty insane. So we're going to see what kind of deck he's running here. I'm still assuming Cyber Angels because it's Restart, but I could be wrong. Okay, it's Venus Control, which is okay. I'm going to set my toggle to off right now because he's going to use Venus Effect twice to get out his monsters. This could actually be Venus with Plasma. That could be a problem. That could be a problem. But I do have Spirit into Mirror Wall, so it's okay. The question is, did my opponent actually open up with Plasma? If this is actually the deck that he's running. This also could just be a Venus Control deck. I don't really know. We're about to find out. Did he open with a Destiny Hero Plasma? Because if so, that is mighty unfortunate. Looks like he didn't, which is okay then. That might be like a order to charge or an order to smash or whatever, which is fine by me. I'm going to play my second Insight. Reason being is because this allows me to go in against his Venus, and allows me to counter any potential OTC plays. Now I'm going to see. I want to activate one spirit and then set these two, because then it covers every kind of play he could do. It's a risk to do this, because I'm going to probably lose a zombie dragon for no reason because of it, but I want to do it this way, because I know that he's probably going to have a face down of some sort. If it's order to smash, that sucks, because I'm going to waste my spirits, but I was gonna say, like, what kind of face down could you have to stop that? Maybe Ultimate Providence with like a card in hand, but even is that worth? So I'm gonna set triple back row because I don't think it's ordered to smash, and we're gonna go in with double red eyes here because if this is kind of like a scapegoat, because if it is like a mirror wall or something that somehow prevents me from attacking, then I was going to say I could activate my my Wyvern's effect since I haven't normal summoned this turn, and I would be able to bring back my other zombie dragon for free. So I'd have 2 spirits in the back row with 2 zombie dragons on the field. But luckily he doesn't activate anything, so we get rid of 2 shine balls. He has not a lot of support in hand. It's my end phase. What card do you have face down? I'm confused, guys. I'm puzzled and confused. But we have 2 spirits in support, unless he has like an order to smash. But even if he has one now, I can still proc my other spirit to have 2 zombie dragons and a wyvern out. So we're in a pretty solid spot, I would want to say. So not really sure what he's running at this point. Don't know if he dead drew or not, but it's looking pretty bad for him. I mean, as far as I can see, he hasn't really brought anything out, or he doesn't have a lot of board presence compared to me, who has like a lot. He has 1 extra card than I do in the current situation, but we'll see what he does with it. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Like I said, with the Red Eyes deck, if like you don't have Gozukis, just chuck in a bunch of Samurai Skulls. Whatnot. Is he going to do the Econ take play? Because I don't care. Okay. You do you, man. You do you. I assume he's doing this and then he's going to tribute it for another monster, like a Heavy Knight, or not Heavy Knight, what's it called? Knight of the Red Lotus. Is this really the desperation play that you're going for, dude? Is this really like all you have that you can do? Yep, looks like, yep, Knight of the Red Lotus, that's fine. I have double spirit face down. I have double spirit and mirror wall, so this is fine. This is honestly just fine. Battle phase, cool. I'm gonna wait until yeah, he realizes, you know what, maybe he has a mirror wall, but I'm gonna play one of my spirits right now, bring back one of my zombie dragons. I believe we can just go for game on next turn. If he doesn't have a sphere Kribo, it's I believe it's done. We're gonna double spirit, and he made us rage quit here, because if he doesn't have a sphere Kribo in hand, we run over everything for game. Everything's getting a 600 boost. Draw Gozuki, which is not really needed at this point. We can just beat down. Look at this shit. Like, even freaking Wyvern is getting over the Knight of Red Lotus. But we're going to run over this, because I don't believe he has a Sphere Kribo. And if he has 1, that saves him for a turn. But we are definitely just trying to run this over. Let me guess, do you have 2? Of course you don't, you bastard. So, Bop. I just don't think there's anything he has with 3 cards in hand. I just don't think there's anything. An interesting deck in KOG for sure. It can be a very annoying deck to go up against, but in this situation it wasn't that scary. He could Venus into another Shine Ball, but unless he has like double OTC, I just don't see this being good at all. I think he's just going to lose. He summons it in attack mode, which leads me to believe he has another Econ in hand. Yeah, okay. Get a tribute take. I assume he's going to tribute and take my zombie dragon so he can crash into my other zombie dragon and take it permanently. I'm just going to assume. Which one are you going to take, bro? I assume you're going to take the zombie dragon that is in attack mode, because then he can use that zombie dragon to attack into this zombie dragon, and then use the other zombie dragon to attack into Wyvern, and then attack directly with his Venus. Now that strategy is good, but that strategy is also incredibly flawed. Like, I don't even need to activate my mirror wall right now. I don't have to, but I'm going to do it. The reason why I didn't have to activate it was he doesn't have enough to get lethal, and on my next turn I can just bring back... Sorry, on my next turn, I get my zombie dragon back. As you can see there, he has zombie dragon out, and then I could just go. My red eyes would beat down, runs over his red eyes. Then I take control of his red eyes, and I run over the Venus basically for game. Proceed to the battle phase. Ripperoni and Pepperoni Bandit Keith. You put up, I guess, a good fight. I don't really know, but that's basically what the deck does. It can flood. It can do all kinds of bits, man. The last thing we're just going to do, guys, is kind of explain how I'm going to design my deck for the upcoming format. Kind of talking about how I feel about it. So we get to, yeah, we do a good win there. So 14 more wins. Ooh, dice fragments. Clean. So, I'm going to go on the deck header. So as you guys know, heading into the next season, Red Eye Spirit has been limited to 2. So, to mitigate that, oh my god, scroll down please. What I've done is I've dropped a Spirit from my deck. I've actually chosen to drop an Insight. Now this is a bit of a dubious call because it can leave you a little bit dead in hand, but I feel like it hasn't been an issue for me so far in this season. So to cover for the drop of 1 Red Eye's Spirit, I just chucked in a Wyvern. And then the newest card that I wanted to bring into my deck, if I just scroll a little bit, I will find it because it is in the newest pack. Boom! Forbidden Chalice. If you don't have this card already, you need to get this card because both of the forbidden cards, well, the 2 main forbidden cards that came out, and Chalice and Lance, are freaking ridiculous, and this one is amazing. Let me just break down why this card is good. So, say I was in that situation there with my opponent. Say I'm in a situation in the mirror match. My opponent has 1 beatdown Red Eyes at 2700, and I have a Red Eyes at 2400. He attacks into me. Boom! Forbidden Chalice. Now I can't take his Red Eyes, but I get strong enough so that his Red Eyes can't get over me. Alternative uses for this card, say you're up against that Amazonis deck, and they go to attack, and you pop Chalice. Now, this Amazonis will gain 400 attack, yes, but at the same time, her effect that makes you take all the damage won't be activated. Instead, your opponent will take all the damage. So if they juice you up to a point where it's going to be game, and you activate Chalice, then unless they have a way to change your monster's battle position, they are screwed. They just, like, insta-lose, basically, on that turn. So it really shuts down the Amazonis burn deck. And I guess one of the big ones too is your opponent brings out Dakini, they try to pop Dakini effect, negated. So whatever you have on the field is saved. So it's good for attack boosting if need be, and it's also good for negating really frustrating effects that could happen. And this could be at any time. Like if there's a certain monster on the field that's trying to activate its effect, then you can just straight up negate that. Now it doesn't really work with like the burn deck, or not the burn decks, the mill decks, because unless you're flipping them up, you can't really negate their effect when they're flipped, unless they flip summon it. But if it's just being attacked into, doesn't get its effect pop like that. But this is definitely a card I'm adding into my deck. I would be tempted to run 2, but I don't see anything else I'd want to drop. Mirror Wall is really important against a lot of decks. You can potentially chuck in Wall of Disruption, but like I've explained in this video, I find that Mirror Wall is a lot harder to play around than Wall of Disruption. Wall of Disruption is good. It's more budget than Mirror Wall, but then again, so is half counter. If you don't want to use Mirror Wall, then use half counter. But I like this deck a lot. I think you have to keep Econ at 3. It's too good that way. You could potentially chuck in, like I said, a few vanilla Red Eyes and Birthright, but I think double Spirit and double Wyvern is more than enough utility to get your zombie dragons out. And then having triple Econ, Chalice, and Mirror Wall is easily enough protection, with arrows to basically get game, as well as Bacon Saver as protection too. So the deck is really strong. I think this is how I'm going to take it into the new season. So this is probably going to be one of the 3 main decks that I'm going to be running in my climb to KC Club Glory, if I can get there. But that is the deck, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys have enjoyed. This has been like a 40-minute video, but I really hope you've enjoyed this kind of in-depth analysis talking about zombie dragons. You've seen kind of how they performed. One duel where if you open up bad, it can be quite bad, but then also one duel where I didn't open up optimally again, and I was still able to turn it into a thing. Like, the engine is ridiculous. I may pop a replay in here too of like some stupid combo that you can do like with Gozuki and stuff, but that's going to do it. If you guys have enjoyed this, make sure you like the video, all that good shit, because I really do appreciate your guys' thoughts and everything on the videos. But that's going to do it for me, guys. My name is Averd. I'm out this bitch.